Okay, I think in the previous class we have thought about PCI, right? So peripheral component interconnect bus. Okay, that's what we have discussed in the previous class, right? So that is nothing but, so as you are able to see in this diagram, I think you can make out here it is peripheral, component interconnect bus. So here we have a PCI bus. See here, so we have a PCI bus here. I hope you are able to see that PCI bus. Okay, yeah, just see to this. This is the PCI bus. Okay, so this PCI bus is mainly used. See, this is the PCI bus. I'll write it here one more time. So this is the PCI bus. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Here we have a PCI bus. I hope you are able to see this bus. See here, this is the PCI bus. This is the PCI bus. Okay. So this PCI bus will be utilized to transmit a data with bulk. Okay, so the bulk amount of data can be transmitted. Okay, so without any intervention of my processor. For example, suppose I want to send a data. So here, if you assume I have one disk is there. Okay, I have one disk. Okay, you know already, right? So we have drives are there, and even external memory you can add it to your system, right? So external storage devices you can add it to your system. Okay, so in that particular system you are supposed to transmit a bulk amount of data. Okay, so suppose if you take this particular example, there is some additional memories there, so I can call this as some additional memory, maybe your disk. Okay, so maybe your disk. So this disk having a bulk amount of data, so this I can transmit. Okay, I want to transmit to my processor or to my memory. So what I could do, so via this PCI bus I can take, via this bridge I can transmit the data to the main memory. Okay, so like this PCI bus will be mainly utilized to send the vast amount of data. Okay, that's the main intention. Okay, so that is about our PCI bus that we have discussed in the previous class. See here, you can make out here. Here you have, along with this PCI bus, we have some other buses are there. See, USB controller is there, and SSC SI is there. So okay, so those two concepts we will discuss in the further topics. Okay, so now just to see a little bit, information regarding PCI, we'll just add it. Okay, so in the today's class we are going to add a small information. Okay, so what small information? Suppose how the PCI will send the data between processor and, okay, so here we have a processor. Assume this is one processor. Okay, this is the processor. Okay, so one processor. Okay, so from this processor, I want to send the data between one of the device. Okay, assume this is one of the disk. I want to transmit the data from disk to this processor. Okay, or from disk to a memory. So how to transmit the data? Okay, so right now I have taken an example. The processor is here, so I want the data from the disk. My disk is having a vast amount of data. I want to transmit the data to the processor. That means processor should read this data. Okay, so at that time, what it should do, it has to initiate. What it has to initiate? It has to initiate the clocks. Okay, so that means initiation will be done by the initial clock cycle, that is first. Okay, so with the first clock cycle I'll start, the processor will initiate. It's something like master will initiate. Okay, so as soon as it initiate, just to see here, so we are going to enable the frame. Okay, enable the frame. See here, this is the signal, frame signal. So frame signal will indicates by default you are going to enable the data transmission. What data transmission? The processor will requested some data by the disk. Now the disk is sending some data to the processor. That's all. Okay, now we can make out here, this is the one who will initiate. Okay, this is the one who will send the data. Okay, it's like a target system. Okay, this is an initiator system, this is the target system. Okay, that's very simple. So now the initiator wants the data from the target device. For that purpose, what I should do, I have to enable the frame signal. Okay, so here whenever you see this hash, okay, this hash symbol is nothing but, instead of writing negate of frame, see what I will do, instead of writing frame negate, see negate, instead of writing frame negate, okay, so we are going to use here hash symbol, that's all. Okay, something like this. Hash indicates that whenever you have a low voltage, that means your signal will be high. Whenever it is low voltage, it indicates that your frame signal will be active mode. Okay, so that's what it indicates. Suppose here also IRDY, here you have an hash symbol. So hash symbol indicates what, it's something like whenever it is low, okay, low voltage, so at that time this signal is active, it's in active mode, that's all it indicates. Okay, instead of negate, so IRDY, instead of negate symbol, I'm going to use their hash, that's all. It's very simple. Okay, now just here the frame signal has been initiated. So by what? By the processor. Now processor has requested the data. Okay, from what? From the disk. Okay, just a second, I think screen share has been stopped. Just a second, I'll screen share it. Yeah. Okay, I think screen share. You're able to see the screen now? You're able to see the screen? Yes or no? No. Okay. Just a second. Okay, just a second. Okay. Yes. Okay. I think you're able to see the slide. You're getting right? Yeah. Right? Okay. So now what happens after the processor has initiated? Now it has to put the address from where I want to take the data. That means the address of the disk location. So from where I want to copy the data. Okay. So that address will be put by the processor. Okay, so that's what actually the address will put. And command, what command? Command is nothing but read the data or write the data. Okay, so here I'm supposed to read the data. That is why the control signal C is equal to what? So controlling, what controlling? I'm going to give an operation, read operation or write operation. This is bus enable. So bus enable, sorry, byte enable. What's the meaning of byte enable? So you are able to read at a time 4 bytes of data. So 4 bytes of data means at a time you can read 32 bits of data. Okay, you can transmit 32 bits of data simultaneously. So since you are going to read bulk amount of data, that's why I'm putting the 4 bytes of data simultaneously I can read. Okay, I think here you have it's a initiator ready. So initiator ready signal will be enabled. When the initiator ready signal will be enabled, it indicates that your processor is ready to receive the data. Okay, then target ready. Target ready means your target ready in the sense what? Your disk will send the data. The disk will be ready to send the data, and initiator ready means your processor is ready to receive the data. See, whenever in the Google Meet I have admitted you, it indicates that whenever I will create the class, Google Meet class, so that means I am ready. Simultaneously, you have logged in okay, via that particular Google Meet link, then you are telling, okay ma'am, even we are ready. Okay, that is what initiator is also ready. That means faculty is ready and target ready. Target means students. Okay, student is also ready. Okay, like that, we are going to get this particular IR initiator ready and target ready. Now it is very easy. What is the thing now? What operation we have to do to read the data from the disk to the processor? So, and here also we have one more signal that is known as device select. Device select means, please see to this, this device select is somewhere here. Please see to this. So as soon as I come with the address, see, as soon as I come with the address, I'm going to get this particular device select. Which device? Okay, we have n number of disks. Assume you have 10 disks. That 10 disks, which disk, from which disk I want to read the data. Okay, that is what select the device. That is what device select. Okay, I think if your device will be the device select will be come here, that's quite better. I felt, see, if comes like this, that's better, because they have incorporated here in the diagram. So that's why it's same as the diagram given in the textbook, so you can make out here. Okay, I think so this is what our PCI bus will do, the operation of transferring the data. Okay, transferring the data between processor and the memory. So I think let me so I think you are able to understand your PCI. So one more time, I'll just just brush up your mind. So call is now being recorded. Okay. So first thing is, I'm going to initiate the data to be read. Okay, bulk amount of data will be read from the disk. For that purpose, what I should do, I should start my clock along with the frame signal. As soon as frame signal will be give the address also, from which address location I want to read the data from the disk. So it will also put the address. Okay, and that's the thing. So as soon as it put the address, it will give a command also. What command? Whether I should read the data or write the data. So the command should be what here? Read the data. So how much data it's supposed to read? So here it has enabled that 4 bytes. So 4 bytes of data it need to read. Okay, that's what. So and here, as soon as the address and command has been available here, so the processor has been put forward with the address and command. It indicates one signal that initiator is ready and even target is ready. Here initiator means processor, the target means disk. Okay, both are ready. And here, before these two are ready, there will be a device selection signal should be active. Device select means out of n number of disks, from which disk I want to receive the data. That is what device select will do. Okay, so that is what the device select will do. I think with this I have explained you how the our PCI will work. Okay, now come to the another bus. That means what, I think in the diagram also we have seen this SCSI bus. I'll show you where the SCSI bus will come. Later we can I can explain the concept. Let's see the diagram first. This diagram, in the diagram, in this previous diagram itself, we have the SCSI bus. See here. I think you're able to see this. Okay, let me erase all the things. Yeah. See this? I think you're able to see this. SCSI bus here. This is SCSI bus. See, SCSI bus will be connected to our PCI bus. Okay, so I think you're able to see that. And here, what is SCSI? So as they have given there, small computer system interface. So what is SCSI? Small computer system interface. I'll write it here. SCSI. SCSI. means S means small computer. So this is nothing but computer. Next, another S means system. I means interface. Small computer system interface. Okay, this is the bus. It is mainly used to copy the data from disk to processor. Particularly, its maximum. This particular SSCSI bus will be mainly connected for transmitting the data from disk. Okay, you have disk, no? So in your systems, we have external storage. Disks will be there. Secondary storage devices. It's disk and CD-ROM. Okay, so these particular devices have a bulk amount of data. So I want to read the bulk amount of data from the CD-RAM or disk. What I should do? I'm supposed to use the disk bus. Okay, SSCSI bus. Via this SSCSI bus, I can transmit the data to the PCI bus. Then from PCI bus, I can transmit the data to the processor. Okay, that is the scenario. And here one more thing you should know here. So this SSCSI bus will be controlled by SSCSI controller. So here, so as here bridge exists, here also we have SSCSI controller. This will control. So how much data should be read from the disk, how much data should be transmitted to the processor or the memory. Okay, like that. So probably your disk controller, your disk will have a bulk amount of data that will be received by the SSCSI controller, and it may pass on to even to the memory also. I can send to memory also directly without any intervention of my processor. Okay, that may be happened over here. Okay, that is the main intention of my SSCSI. That is what small computer system interface. Okay, so dear SSCSI bus, it is consisting of, it's like some lines are there. So the data lines, there is some 8 data lines are there. Okay, 8 data lines. So this is what this SSCSI bus consisting of 8 data lines. Each lines may transmit one byte of data. Okay, so simultaneously you can send 8 bytes of data. Okay, I hope you are able to see this. Okay, so something like this. This is what I have written here. This one. This bus is nothing but totally 7 lines are there. So each line can carry a one byte of data. Okay, that is what. So now it has been there will be a guaranteed service. That means what? There will be a logical connection between your disk. Suppose this is the disk. No, from here to here we have a logical connection. From here to here, memory. That means what? Continuously your data will be transmitted from here to here without any intervention. That is what logical connection. So your data will be transmitted continuously like this. Okay, so that's the main intention. SSCSI, there is n number of versions are there. So the previously it was initially SSCSI 1. So now it has been changed. We will get more advanced version SSCSI 2 and SSCSI 3 like that. So they have the capability to send 64 bytes of data. Sorry, 640 megabytes per second. So now SSCSI 3 has a capacity of transmitting 640 megabytes per second. Okay, so this much bytes of data it will transmit per second. Okay, so faster data transmission will be available with our existing systems. Okay, so let me show you how that the SSCSI controller will handle the data transmission. Okay, for that we have a diagram here. I hope you are able to see this SSCSI. I'll show you directly. I'll go to the diagram. It's quite easy for me. Okay, let me take this first. Yeah, this is the thing. Just see here how the SSCSI will work. Okay, I'll write it here, SSCSI. Okay, so please see to this SSCSI. See, initially my processor is here. Suppose processor is there. It wants to read. Okay, let me take processor only. Wants to read the data from the disk. Okay, so now the disk will be under the control of my SSCSI controller. SSCSI controller. So what the controller will do, initially it will take the data from the disk and will send it to the processor. Okay, or it can send the data to the memory also. Now just see here, the first thing is what I should do whenever we have the bulk amount of data is there. So even you have not only one disk, we have n number of disks are there. See, there is disk number 1, disk number 2, disk number 3. So many are there, 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay, suppose we have disk disk 1, disk 2, disk 3, all wants to send the data to the memory. Suppose disk 1 also wants to send the data to the memory, and even the disk 2 also wants to transfer the data to the memory, and even disk 3 also wants to transfer the data to the memory. At that time, what we have to do, we are supposed to do the operation of arbitration. Okay, the very basic thing is arbitration. What is arbitration? Arbitration is nothing but, so out of these three disks, which disk we have to select, right? So higher the priority, the disk will be chosen. Okay, so suppose out of three disks, suppose the third disk is having highest priority, based on the arbitration process, this is the highest priority, then disk 3 will transmit the data via SCSI controller, transmit to the memory. Okay, I hope you are clear. Okay, that selection, okay, the selection process is done, known as arbitration process. And here we are able to see how the process will done. See, here we have a data bus 2, data bus for a device 5, data bus with a device 6. Okay, so you are able to see 3, device number 2, device number 5, device number 6, all wants to transmit the data. But now, who will win actually? Obviously, even though disk 2 as the disk 2 wants the data to be transmitted, obviously the device number 6 will win the match, isn't it? The disk number 6 will win the match. Okay, so that is why it will get the data bus. See here? I think you're able to see, right? So 100% this will win the match. See, this is actually lower the voltage, active. It is like active. Active means what? Lower the voltage. So DB6, the data bus 6 for a device number 6, the bus will be enabled. That bus will be granted. Okay. So now, as soon as I will get the bus, you are able to see. I think you are able to see this. So after this, the data will be completed. Transmission of data will be completed. Next, I am going to get the ownership. Okay, just a second. Vinay sir. Okay. Okay, pa. So now obviously data bus for a device number 6 will be granted, isn't it? So after DB6, which device will get the ownership? Can you give me the answer? After DB sixth device, sixth disk, which will be get the grant later? Can I get the answer for this? Now, who are there in the queue actually? Device number 2 and device number 5. Who will get the SCSI bus now? Next. You're getting my words? You're audible? See, after device number 6, it will transmit the data, okay, to memory or to processor. Now, which device will get the SCSI bus? Device number 5 or device number 2 now? According to the arbitration process. I'm not getting the answer for this question. Hemant Reddy, yeah, 5, exactly. Why it is 5 actually? Why it is 5 actually? Why it is 5 actually? Why can't 2? Actually 5 is correct, but why it is? Why 5? Why can't 2? Exactly. Priority order. Yes. In the arbitration, so higher the unique ID, we will be get the bus for the higher priority device. Okay. So obviously, when compared to the device number 5, with the device number 2, 5 will be having the higher priority, so that will be getting. Okay, so that is what. And here you can see it here. So during this arbitration process, selection process, so your bus should be, if your bus is busy, means you are not able to get the SSCSI bus. Okay, that is what it indicates. Bus busy. Bus busy means what? See, whenever this is I, it indicates what? Bus is not busy, isn't it? Whenever it is low voltage, the bus is busy. Bus is busy means what? Some device has already got the arbitration. It is busy now. Because why? Why it is now low impedance or low voltage? Because you can make out here the 6 has got the SSCSI bus. When 6 has got the SSCSI bus, 100% bus will be busy now. Okay. So next, select, and even selection. So selection is also one thing. So whenever which device I want to select. So I want to select the bus. So see, I think you're able to see here. So here it is low impedance. Low impedance means what? So previously I have given the next I want to select next bus. Which bus I want to select? Okay, I will select 5. Okay, that is what selection process. The selection process will be activated here in this particular time. That means what? So after the device number 6, I'm going to select next device. Okay, which device I will select? Okay, that selection process starts by this particular time. Okay, that is by enabling the select signal. I hope you are clear with this. So that is what with respect to SSCSI bus. And here you can see here some other signals also there. They have given very clearly. See here, some signals are there. See, DP means what? Data lines. Data lines means, I told no, there is 7 lines will be there, data lines. So that is available here. And there is one parity bit will be there for the database. That is what parity. So depending on the parity, so even parity and odd parity, like that, you can select the device. You can select the buses. Okay, suppose if you take this. Okay, suppose 8 lines are there. So 8 lines are there. So this may be an even parity and odd parity. So like that you can select, okay, parity depending on, either you can select out of this four, I want to select even data lines or odd data lines. Okay, based on parity bit, you can select the data buses. And we have phases also. Some phases will be there. What are the main phases? It is busy. You have seen that busy line, selection signal, busy signal, and CND, control. Okay, control means what? Whether I have to read the data or to write the data. Okay, so that's what indicates your CRD, control signal for a selection of data. And we have message also. Some messages will be available. So it indicates that information being transferred is a message. Okay, what message you want to convey, message you want to transmit, that you can put it there as a message. That could be one of the signal, but we have not included here actually in the diagram. And here handshake is also there. What's a handshaking? So handshaking means, you see here it is nothing but your processor is a master and your disk will be your disk is your slave. Okay, so between these two I want to make a handshake. What handshaking? I have sent a data. That means processor requested the data. Now the disk will send a acknowledgement. What acknowledgement? Yes, I'm ready to send you your requested data. So like that, there will be a conversation. Okay, that means what? Request and reply. Okay, so that is what acknowledgement. So I'll show you what is that acknowledgement later on. Then we have input output also. So that means what? You are sending the data from processor. You are sending some data to the disk via SSCSI bus, means that is input the data. Output the data means you are sending the data to the disk, means output. Receiving the data means it's an input. Okay, that is what input output operations. Then we have other attention is there. Attention means what? So as soon as processor is requested some data from the disk, there is an attention signal will be enabled. That means what? The disk should be be attentive. So somebody is requesting your service, like that. That's what an attention. Then reset will be there. So reset is nothing but, so the device controls to disconnect from the bus and assume their startup state. Okay, reset means what? What's a reset? I'll give one simple example. Okay, so we have all the disks are there here. Suppose we have 3 disks are there. Okay, so initially I want to set up a connection. Okay, So with my SSC controller, I want to put a connection, initiate the connection for my bus, SSC bus. That is what our initiator, that is what reset. Okay, resetting. Even though if I want to add one more disk means you can reset. That means what? I am just make a connection with the SSC controller. That's all. Okay, so like this, we have additional signals are there. See, please see in the textbook. Go through this. Whatever the input I'm going to give you. Okay, as a brief, I'm going to explain you. Briefly, I'm explaining you. Still, you want still more, depth, elaborate explanation. Means in textbook they have given very elaborate for all the signals and each signals operations, functions, everything they have given. You can go to the textbook. Okay. So, and here that is about our SSC bus, and we have the very important the thing with respect to SSC mainly thing is the SSC is mainly used to transmit the data. What is our main purpose of transmission of SSC is mainly transmitting the data from disk to processor or disk to memory. Okay, so I think you have already seen the diagram. Okay, this is the thing, this diagram, and okay, these signals you have to remember. What are the signals? There is the list out here. So category, all the category you have to remember. Okay, so data means you have DB0 to DB7 with the parity. Face means busy and select. Information means control on data and message. And handshake means request and acknowledgement. A direction of transfer means input and output, whether writing the data or reading the data, or receiving the data from the disk or writing the data to the disk, like that. Then other information such as attention and reset. Okay, so this you have to remember. Suppose in the exam, explain the SSC bus okay, with the signals in detail. Means you have to take this all the category of signals and you have to explain, okay, along with this diagram. Okay, that's what the main thing. I think you're able to see this diagram. Arbitration, see this what they have provided, arbitration and selection on the SSC bus. Okay, device 6 wins the arbitration and selects device 2. Okay, so it is something like it will 6 will wins the arbitration and selects device 2. Means what? If device 2 is trying to trying to get the bus, so I'm going to I'm going to probe the bus. Okay, why? Because DB6 having the highest priority. That is why. I think you are able to understand the things. Even if you study in the textbook also, you are able to understand the thing properly. And we have last bus, which is very important, that is USB. Okay, this USB, you're already aware of it. So what's the main use of USB? So that means what? Universal serial bus. Okay, so this is nothing but, I think you are able to see your system, right? You have a system here. Okay, I think you're able to see this one particular system. This is a monitor. I can make it as mouse here. I'll keep it as mouse. Okay, so I'm going to connect this mouse to my CPU. So CPU, this mouse I'll connect it to this CPU, and even this keyboard also I'll connect to this CPU. Okay, I have some pen drive with me. Okay, I'll write some small pen drive. Okay. Then pen drive. Then what else? I'll take some external hard disk. See, hard disk, external hard disk. Everything. And even I want to connect one printer also. One printer is here. This also I'll connect. And even I have one, printer scanner. I'll take some scanner. Some SD card is there. That also I want to connect. I'll connect. Hey, see, to this one particular processor, a CPU, you are going to connect any number of devices, isn't it? You're able to see this, what I've written. This is my monitor. This is my keyboard. This is my CPU. For this CPU, I can attach keyboard, mouse, pen drive, then hard disk, external hard disks, then printer, scanner, anything. I want to add any other external devices. Okay, so the devices may transmit the data. Okay, that may be a large amount of data or small amount of data. Assume your pen drive is obviously 2 GB pen drive means it has a capacity of only 2 GB data within that. Hard disk means what, 1 terabyte, or it could be one some 10 GB like that, or 50 GB like that. So you can attach any external device to my processor, and in order to make that to be connected, I want some interface, right? That is said to be an universal serial bus. Okay, so this is the standard bus which has been mainly used to connect n number of the devices into my system. Okay, so that you are going to incorporate, okay, that particular devices can easily transmit the data. Okay, the data may be even microphone. You can see microphone. Suppose even I want to connect to this one microphone. See here. Okay, I've written one beautiful microphone. Please assume it's like a microphone. Okay, so like this, even I want to connect anything. You just see any hardware devices I'm supposed to communicate. Suppose I want to connect with this particular system, is I require a proper interface bus. Okay, that bus is said to be a universal serial bus. So this has been used here, and n number of ports has been provided. Okay, so your system cannot provide 1000 ports. I want to connect 1000 devices means you can get 1000 ports. Okay, there is some limitations are there, isn't it? You can't provide 1000 ports. That is why you have some limited number of ports you can incorporate into this universal serial bus connector. And here you have device characteristics. So what's the device characteristics? Suppose you are connecting your monitor to the CPU means, so that port may be having a different characteristics. And your pen drive, what's the main use of pen drive? Transmit available data. Small amount of data is there within the pen drive. So that data may be, I want to copy the data, or I want to, send the data to the pen drive. It requires some protocol. So each and every port having its own characteristics. That is what device characteristics. And one important thing you have to remember, and you have to here as an important concept in the USB is plug and play. What is plug and play? See, plug and play is nothing but, so just plug the device. Plug means what? Just connect the device. As soon as you connect the device will work. Hope you have understood. Okay, assume my system, it's on already. I'm presenting here some, PPT to you. Automatically, I want to add one pen drive. I can add it, right? So I can easily add. As soon as I add the pen drive, it will activate it. So it never bothered that, some, Google Meet presentation is going on. Okay, nothing to worry. As soon as I plug in the device, it will be activated. It will be work. Simultaneously, I can do my class here in the Google Meet, and simultaneously I can copy some data to my pen drive. Exactly, right? That is what plug and play. Okay, so please understand that plug and play. As soon as you plug that device, it will be activated and will be working. Okay, that is what the main use of plug and play. And you can make out here. So main use of plug and play. That's the main intention. See, whenever assume you have a CPU. I've connected my CPU to the I've connected my monitor to the CPU. See, it won't work, right? So we have to restart the system. So suppose when I put the pen drive, no need to restart the system, isn't it? Some difference are there. So that is what plug and play. That is with respect to plug and play. And here, how your USB, bus will be looks like. Your USB bus looks like this. Here, there will be a root hub. See, one thing you should know that in exam, how the question will be. First, I'll tell you how the question is. Explain the following. Explain the following. Okay. First one. PCI. Okay. or PCI bus only, right? PCI bus. Peripheral component interconnect. Second one, SCCSI bus. Okay, that is what? SCCSI bus. This is one. The third question, something like this, USB. So if it is 10 marks question, you can make out here some, 3, 3, 3, okay, or 3, 3, 4, like that. So suppose it's only 2 questions. Explain PCI bus and SCCSI bus. You can assume 5 marks for this, 5 marks for this. Sometimes your question may be explain the PCI bus, that's all. Sometimes it could be explain the SCCSI bus, completely 10 marks question. Or your one more question is explain the USB bus. Okay, that could be 10 marks question. So now it's up to you that how many points you have to grab and how many points you have to present in the paper. Okay, so based on that particular marks distribution. Okay, so in that way you have to understand PCI some concepts. Okay, so as much you have understood, how much ever you are able to remember, please remember and practice well. SCCSI bus also, and even USB. Okay, in USB, I told that USB is mainly used. See, in this one, you have to start with this. So, what is that main thing is? It's mainly used for speeder data accessibility. That means what? So, as soon as you have put the pen drive, you are able to access the data, faster. So, that's the speed matter. With a pen drive, I'm going to access the data so faster, means it could be in high speed. Sometimes, your disk drive, your external disk drive you have connected. It could be, a little bit slow speed. So like that, each device having its own, speed capability. Some devices may provide low speed, some device may provide high speed, some device may be average speed. Okay, and port limitation, right? So you have to start with the explanation of USB by this explanation. How much speed, what's the port limitations, and what is device characteristics, and what is plug and play. Okay, so that you have to explain. Later you should go to the diagram. Okay, here you have, so your architecture, I can call this as an architecture. So this architecture is known as tree architecture. Okay, so this is architecture. So bus tree architecture or a bus tree structure, it is consisting of, it looks like a tree. Okay, so one is a root hub. So suppose your system is this. Assume this is your CPU. Okay, there is one root hub is there. So that root hub may connect n number of devices. Okay, so for that n number of devices, what I will do, in order to make your, to transmit the data faster, what I will do, I'm going to make it, separate hubs. So now these hubs will have direct connection to the devices. So this could be your pen drive. This could be your, keyboard. This could be your printer. This could be your scanner. Okay, this could be your mouse. This could be your headset. Okay, like this. So we have provided n number of hubs so that you can connect n number of devices simultaneously. That is what USB, architecture looks like this. And here I'll directly go to the addressing. See, what's the addressing means? See, each and every device has its own addressing. Okay. Suppose here, if I see this device, see here in this diagram only, suppose this is a printer. This is what actually I said, this is a printer. So printer is having its own address, unique address, exact address, so address of the printer. And here also some scanner is there. So this device is also having some address of my scanner. Here also, this is what I have written here, mouse, right? So this device also having its own AM. AM means what? Address of the mouse, right? So like this, each and every device is having its own addresses. Okay, now whenever it connected, suppose whenever I have connected to, suppose here is a keyboard. So keyboard is one, it is having its own address. Okay, so it is nothing, something like that. You're addressing your device so that processor can easily make out which devices need to transmit the data to the processor. Okay, which device is interrupting. So what's the meaning of interrupting? Suppose here, assume here, through the keyboard, I will enter some character A. That means I'm pressed here A, okay, A alphabet. So that by default, it will make a signal, interrupt signal to my processor. The processor can make out, okay, which device is interrupting me, based on what? Based on the address. You're getting my words. So addressing is very, very important. Each and every device is having its own addresses. Okay, without address, I can't make out which device is interrupting me, or to which device I can send the data, or from which device I can receive the data. Okay, so addressing is very, very important. Why addressing is very, very important? Mainly because we have n number of devices are there. So n number of devices may interrupt anytime. Okay, simultaneously they may interrupt, isn't it? So really contact or communicate with the device, input device or output device or any other device, okay, via USB port. So we can make out here along with the addressing to transmit the data. I require some protocols. So what protocols? So how the data will be transmitted? Okay, so it looks like this. Assume here I'll go to the first protocol, then I'll come back to this packets. Okay, let me take this diagram. See here. Okay, right now you assume you have your USB. Okay, port. For this port, I've connected one pen drive. Okay, this is pen drive. Now I want to transmit the data from this pen drive, okay, assume, okay, to my processor or to memory, anything, or to some other disk. That is also fine. What I will do, I am going to send the data from pen drive. So here, whenever I am sending the data via this USB port, the data should be like this: packets of data. I'm going to create the packets of data. Please understand this. I'm going to create the packets. Assume here I will be sending the packets. See, this is the packets. I think you're able to see these packets, right? Your data looks like number of packets. Okay. These packets of data will be sent to the USB port via the USB port. The very important thing which I want to explain you is this data packets. These data packets is not looks like only one packet. It is consisting of two parts. One is token, one is data. Okay, first is token. Here only I'll divide this packet into token and data. Okay, the data means what? Data means what's the content? What the content you're transmitting. Token means the token means information. What's information? The packet number. What's the number of the packet? Okay, and one ID will be there. For each packet, there will be one unique ID will be there. That information. Okay, any other information, whether this data should be on length of the data. Okay, so like that, the information regarding the packet available in the token. Okay, and the original data available in this second segment. That is what your data. Here also token data, like that. So I am taking this first token, first data, first packet. It's a number 0. Okay, so now token with the data packet number 0 I have sent to my processor or to my hub. Okay, where it is? This is the USB port hub. Now what I will do, as soon as it is received, it will send an acknowledgement. What acknowledgement? Yes, I have received the packet number 0. That is what acknowledgement. I hope you are clear. Okay, now this particular USB port may send the token into some other device. That could be a processor, or that could be some other output device, or that could be some other input device. I don't know. Okay, wherever it wants, it will send it. As soon as it will send, assume here processor is the one. So processor will give me the acknowledgement. Okay, that is what. Suppose I'm sending the data from pen drive to one other disk. So now what it will do? The USB port will receive the data, and now USB port will send the data to the disk. That's all. The disk will acknowledge, yes, I have received the data, like that. Okay, here also, I'm sending a second packet of data, packet number one it is. That is why packet number one means data one. I'll receive the acknowledgement. Okay, who is giving the acknowledgement? USP is giving the acknowledgement. Hub is giving the acknowledgement. And here also, as soon as the hub is received the data, it will send it to its destination node. Okay, so the destination node, as soon as it receives it, it will give the acknowledgement to the hub. I hope we're clear. Okay, so like this, there will be a proper protocol will be maintained, sending the data and receiving the acknowledgement, sending the data and receiving the acknowledgement. This will be mainly utilized for a reliable transmission of data. Why we call it as reliable transmission? Because it will make your data 100% guaranteed delivery. Okay, from pen drive, your data will be transmitted to your disk, or from pen drive to the processor. Okay, I think you are able to understand. This is how your data will be transmitted. Okay, so I have told you your data packet looks like token and data, right? So it's not only a data, along with the data, your packet means what? Okay, your data, whatever there in the pen drive, so that will be, transmitted to USB port means it has to be in the format of packets, isn't it? So how that packet looks like, let me show you. Okay, this is how the packet looks like. I told no, there is a packet consisting of one is token packet, one is data packet, isn't it? So I think you are able to see this token packet. I think you are able to see, suppose I'll write here, this is my packet. Now assume this is your token packet, this is your data packet. Okay, so I told you data means original data. What data you want to send? Okay, within the pen drive you have some, suppose A, B, C, some data is there within the pen, content that A, B, C. That means A is your content. Okay, so along with this A, we will be with the content. We inside this A, we'll be having here. Along with this, you have a CRC code. See here, along with the data, we'll be having a CRC code. So I told you in the if you don't know, I think in CN I have taught. I think okay. CRC code means whenever I've sent the data A. So what's your data? A means what? Suppose assume instead of A, I will consider your data may be 1010. 1010 is nothing but A, right? Suppose your data will be 1010. So whenever I send the data, my receiver should, that means what? My destination should get the same data, 1010, right? So whether this data is 1010 or not, whether it has been 1010 is received, the data is correct or it has been manipulated. Okay, for that purpose, what I should do, I'm going to add some CRC code here. CRC code. What's that CRC code? Cyclic redundancy checksum. Okay, what is that? Cyclic redundancy checksum. What's that cyclic redundancy checksum? Suppose I'll give you one example. Suppose you have 1010. Okay, now I'll add this. All the bits I will add. What I'll get now? 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 1, 0 with carry 1. Isn't it? So what I will do, I am going to add CRC code as 0 now. See here, I'll add a CRC code as 0. Now, what the receiver will see? Receiver will see the data 1010, isn't it? So as soon as he see the 1010, he will add. Okay, all the bits he will add. So obviously, on adding 1010, what he will get? He will be getting again the 0 as a data. Okay, with what? 1 as a underflow bit. So I'm neglecting this. So 0 he will get. So he will assume that okay, the receiver, the sender has sent the data 1010, and the CRC code is matched with additional data. Okay, even I am also getting the 0 as a resultant on adding the data bits, isn't it? So that is what CRC code. Suppose I'll give one more example. Suppose I'm sending the data only 1 1. Okay, only 1 1. Okay, this is the data I've sent. My CRC code is what actually? What's the CRC code now? 0 or 1? Initially the bits is 1010. I've added 1010. Now my question to you is, suppose your data bit is only 1 1, only 2 bits of data I'm transmitting. Now what could be the CRC code? What could be the CRC code? First, Hemant Reddy. One. Any other answer? Lata Shekhar 1-1. No, just see to this. What you should do, you should add all the bits. What's the all bits? 1, 1 and 1, right? I'll add this. 1 with 1 I'll add. So 1 plus 1 is 0. So the carry bit is 1. I'll neglect this carry bit. So I'm getting 0 as a CRC code. Okay. So what I will do along with this data, okay, I'll write it here one more time. This is what my data. So along with my data 1, 1, I'm going to add the CRC code 0 now. Okay. I will send it to my destination node. So what will happen during my transmission? There may be, somebody will alter the data. Assume your data will be altered. Instead of 1, 1, your data will be 1, 0. Okay. Now, what the receiver will do? The receiver will, again, it will do the addition. What it will do? 1 plus 0. 1 plus 0 is what? 1 plus 0 is 1 code. CRC code is 0 I'm getting. But what I'm supposed to get here? 0 I want to get. But instead of 0, I'm getting 1. So it indicates to my destination that your data has been altered. Your data has been manipulated. That is what it indicates. I hope you are clear with this concept. Okay. So that is, I have explained you what is data. Along with the data, what is CRC code? Okay, the data and CRC code. If your data bit is around 0 to 8192 bits of data, then 16 bits of CRC code you can include. Okay, that's the capacity. So, and we have one more extra information is there in the data. That is what actually can make out here PID. What is PID? PID means the number, the packet identifier number. What is that? PID is nothing but, just to see here, PID will be 8 bits of data. So PID will be 8 bits of data. See, first of all, you should know one thing. What you should know, just see to this. What I'm explaining you is, I'm explaining you this data packet and token packet. Right now, I'm explaining you this data packet. Okay, so within this data packet, what is your data packet looks like? So your data packet looks like, okay, PID, that means packet ID number, and data and CRC code. This is how your packet looks like, data packet. Okay, that's what I'm explaining. Now we have come to the PID. See, PID means it is 8 bits. 8 bits means, just see to this, how the 8 bits looks like. See here, this is the 8 bits. See to this, this is PID. This PID is nothing but this bits. The same thing. So your PID will be consisting of actually 4 bits only. Okay, what is that 4 bits? You include any unique ID 1100. Okay, now 1100 is the packet identifier. Packet identifier number will be 1100. Now what I will do, 1100, see 1100. Now by default PID 0 negate, PID 1 negate, PID 2 negate, PID 3 negate. That means what? Your packet identifier first bit will be negated. That means what? So 1 will be negated as 0. So this again, second bit, that means 1 will be negated as 0. Okay. So again, next bit, third bit is what? Actually 0, negated. Negate will be 1. Last bit here 0, negate it to 1. Negate. That means what? Just negate. 0 will be negated to 1. So I'll just write it as 1. This is what. Even though PID will be only 4 bits, so I'll consider it as 8 bit by doing what? A small replication. What replication? So it is something like 1 will be changed to 0, 0 will be changed to 1. Okay, so totally how many bits? 8 bits. And why we require this negate operation? Why means, Suppose, so same something like this. Okay, whenever I receive the data packet, that means here something like, again, error checking. What's the error checking? Suppose here, see, assume here, I am here it could be a data from pen drive. This is pen drive. So from pen drive, I have transmitted to my disk. Whenever I have transmitted the packet, here during the transmission, there may be some alteration. Your packet ID may be altered. Okay, so whether your data is altered or unaltered, it has been altered or unaltered, that will be identified by using this. Suppose assume here 1100. This is the data. Now this has been changed to, instead of 0011, your data may be changed as 1011. So what it indicates to you? It will verify now. So this is 1. Okay, this becomes 1. So this is wrong. This becomes 1. This becomes 0. Yes, this is correct. This becomes 0. This becomes 1. Okay, this is also correct. This is 0. This is 1. This is correct. But here somewhere there is a mistake. That means what? Somebody has altered the data. Even your PID has been altered. Okay. So like that, you find the error checking with respect to PID. I'm going to use this particular concept. That means PID will be negated. Okay, so this is what our PID concept. So my PID will be available both data and token. So just see to this. So I'm going to add PID along with my data packet also, and even with my token packet also. See, even my token packet is also having PID. See here PID. Here also we have PID. Now data packet I've completed. So just see what is my token packet. See, this is token packet, right? This is token packet. Your token packet looks like this. What it looks like? Just see to this. Your token packet consisting of address. Address means what? The address of the disk. My processor wants to write the data to my disk, means at what address? No, the data should be copied. That is what our address. Okay. Either you can make out here, the USP should know the address of the destination. That's what actually the intention, the address. And endpoint. What's the meaning of endpoint? So what it actually tells about endpoint. So endpoint means the last byte address. Okay, so that could be or the length of the data. How much data I want to transmit, or the length of my data. So what is the length of my data? Now it is 0 to 8192. Okay, suppose here we have only 4 bits of data, means so it could be only 4 bits of data. So like that it will provide the information, and along with that you may have some CRC code. So why I required CRC code? So the CRC code is mainly used for the purpose of what? The CRC code is mainly used for the purpose of any error is there, any data will be manipulated. So that will be identified by CRC code. Okay. So I think that's the one thing which is very, very important. And as I said you, acknowledgement packet. So acknowledgement packet is one thing. What's an acknowledgement packet? As soon as it received the data packet. See here, see, suppose this is my processor. Some processor to my disk have sent the data. If the disk has received the data properly, or disk to the USB port, you can take it as a USB port, right? USB hub. It received the data from disk to this hub. It has received. If it is, if it is get the proper data, then it will give the acknowledgement. What acknowledgement? Yes, I have received the data packet. Okay, that's the thing. Otherwise, it is not received the data packet. What it will do, if there is any, data has been altered or your data is incorrect, in such case, it will give you the negative acknowledgement. Negative acknowledgement means what? Okay, I've received the data, but it has been, altered data or incorrect data I've received. Like that, it will give the acknowledgement. Either here and here, suppose I'm sending the data packets. Assume I'm going to send within 1 second. Suppose in one second, see, in 1 second, I'm sending the packets. 0th packet, packet number 1, packet number 2, packet number 3, packet number 4, like this. Within 1 second, I'm able to send some 4 packets of data, some 5 packets of data. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many packets I'm able to send? Within 1 second, I've sent totally, sorry, per second. Per second, 5 packets sent per second. Okay, so then we'll consider this as one frame, completely one frame. One frame consisting of 5 packets. Hope you have understood. Okay, so whenever this is completely 5 packets will be sent continuously, consecutive packets of data within 1 second, then we'll call it as this is one complete frame. Okay, so that you know how it looks. For example, you see this, yeah, isochronous. That is known as isochronous. This is known as isochronous. Isochronous means what? So this is one frame. So I'll consider this is the starting of the frame, SOF. So within this starting of the frame, though, consisting of how many packets? 0, packet number 1, packet number 2, packet number 3, packet number 4. Totally 5 packets. This is the end of the frame. You are ended the frame. That means end of frame. That means what? Within 1 second, you are going to send completely 5 packets, 5 packets. That is known as one frame of data. That is indicated by what? This start a SOF. Okay, SOF with 5 packets. And again, SOF, I don't write it as end of frame, SOF. Again, SOF means initializing with, again, some other 5 data packets. So like that, you can send a consecutive packets of data. That consecutive packets of data is known as isochronous. That's available here. I think if you want to see, just see this, isochronous. That means consecutively, I'm going to send n number of data packets. Okay, so that is what isochronous. That is what USP support the transfer of isochronous data. Okay, I think you are able to understand this. So by this, I think almost I think even you can see in 1 millisecond how many frames, how many data packets you will send. That is one frame consisting of totally 5 packets. So like that, you have n number of frames you will create it, and for each frame you are going to give the number. Frame number 1, frame number 2, frame number 3, like that. So for that frame number, so we have a 11 bits. 11 bits will be utilized for frame. Okay, that's what they have provided here. Don't I'll show it. 11 bits for frame number. 11 bits, consisting of frame number. So I think by this almost I've completed the module number 2. Module 2 is completed. Okay, module 2 completed. Yes. Okay. See, main thing in the module 2 is, first thing what you should know in the module 2, you can make out here the very important thing, that is what input output interface. Okay. First thing is input output interface. If you want, I'll write it here. If you want. So yeah. Okay, just see to this. See, we have a first concept is input output interface. Okay, that you should study. What is interfacing? That means what, how the devices will be connected to the processor. So this is processor, and now I have connected my n number of devices, input devices. So how I will connect? So that is what with respect to first concept. Okay, so that's what you have to study with the data in, data out, status signals like S in and S out. Okay, after that the second concept is DMA. What is DMA? DMA is data memory access. That means what? The bulk, direct memory access. The bulk amount of data I want to transmit without any intervention of the processor. That is what DMA. After DMA, you have to understand what is exception. If there is any errors, during my transmission of data. So sorry, no, I think after DMA, not exception, buses, right? Sorry, I think buses. Okay, so buses is very important. Buses. So buses consisting of two types. One is synchronous and asynchronous bus. Synchronous and asynchronous. This you have to explain. After that, buses concept, I think we have, main part is interface circuits. Interface circuits. In interface circuits, we have serial port and parallel port. Okay, that you have to study. Okay, I told you the diagrams very clearly that you have to study. After that, interface circuits, the very important thing is your the PCI bus. Okay, that means standard input output interfaces. Standard input output interfaces. So standard input output interfaces, okay, consisting of three types. What are those? First is PCI, second one is SCSI, third one is USB. Okay, so like this, we have some information about our module 2. Okay, you have to take a table, put a table like this. What are the concepts? And go through all the concepts. Almost all concepts I've covered in the syllabus. Okay. So, any doubts, any query you have, you can pose a question now. Any other information? Any doubts you have? Yes. Yeah, sure. I think, yeah, sure. See, this actually this PPT is very nice. Actually, this PPT is very nice. I think. See, if you see this PPT, just show you that PPT. Just a second. It's around some, it's some around 400 hundreds are there. But see to the syllabus. I think I'll send it to you that PPT. I'll show you that PPT is here. Everything is covered in the PPT. Almost all the concepts. I think, um as per my knowledge, if you study this PPT only, you can make out. So, and I think even one concept I have missed here, writing interrupt. Interrupt missed here, no? Interrupt I have to include here. One concept, name, interrupt. Interrupt and exception, right? So this I have missed. I think I'll just write it here. Concept is, I think this is second concept. Second concept is, interrupt and exception. Okay, so interrupt and exception. So input output interface, interrupt and exception. Third one is DMA. Fourth one is buses. Inside the buses, synchronous and asynchronous, and interface circuits. That is fifth one. Sixth one is your standard input output devices. That is nothing but PCI, SCSI, and USB. Okay, so I will send you this slide, this PPT. It's very good actually. It covers maximum concepts. You are able to read the concepts very clearly, I think. Okay, you can take notes. Along with the notes, this PPT is fine. I'll upload this PPT, or I'll send it to your group mail ID. Is it okay if I send? See here, it's very clearly given. See, definition. What is this definition they have provided very clearly? Okay, is it fine? Any doubts? see, go through the if you go through the textbook, you know that uh, uh, very vast explanation is there actually in the textbook. You have to go through the textbook actually. You should study the textbook first. Okay, as soon as you study the textbook, you will get some information will be gathered initially. So after the textbook, you go to the presentation or notes. Okay, if you directly go to the notes, probably it won't be helpful. Okay? Better go to the textbook. Go and study the textbook once. That particular module, whatever the topics are there, go through the textbook. Study all the concept. Okay, so you will get 100%. You may not be understand with the textbook, but you will be getting one clear picture. So what is this interfacing? What is this? You know, um, buses. What is this standard buses? Okay, and all you're going to get very clear picture. You will get. Yeah, ma'am. What's the difference between PID and CRC? See, here only I'll write. Is it okay if I write here? I'll write it here only so that see, PID means, okay, I want some space to write. Where I have space. Okay, I have one empty I'll take, wait. An empty page I'll take, just a minute. Yeah, now it's easy for me to write. See, I'll write here my data packet. This is my data packet consisting of data. Okay, now what's my data? Data is 1010. This is my data. 1010 is my data. Okay. Now before this, I have one PID. This is what my PID. Okay, if you want, I'll erase this. I won't write box. Better. Okay. So now I'll write here. Data is 1010. Now what I will do here, I'll write it as PID. This is data. This is PID. PID is what? How many bits? So PID is 4 bits. Okay. So it is PID means packet identifier. So what's the packet identifier? The packet identifier is packet number. What's the packet number? Suppose initial packet is first number is 0. 0 is the packet number. So can I take it as packet as 0? 0 is my packet number. Yes. So how is your packet number 0 with the 4 bits? How can you write packet number 0 with 4 bits? Can somebody type for me? The 4 bits there. 0 is your packet number. Very good. 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, now this is packet ID. Now what I will do, another 4 bits. Okay, PID. Here PID actually. This is data, this is PID. It's completely data packet actually. This is completely data packet. This is completely, so I'll write it as data packet. So in this data packet, 3 parts. First is PID part, second is data part, next is CRC. CRC I will tell you later. This is data. Okay, your data is what? 1010. Now this is 0000. Totally 8 bits. Out of this 8 bits, 4 bits to 0, packet number 0. Now again remaining 4 bits is negate of first bit. What is the negation of 0000? ಏನಪ್ಪ negate of 0000? If I negate, what I will get? 111, right? Iste PID andre. PID means what? PID means packet number. Packet number is what? 0. 0 I will represent in 4 bits. 0000. Okay, now so negate remaining 4 bits. I will take it as 01111. Negate it. So 0000 1111. Now suppose this data packet will received by my receiver. Somebody will receive this data packet. Assume your processor will receive. Now somebody is altered. Your packet ID will be altered. At that time, what will happen? It looks like 00101111, isn't it? So what will happen? See, 0 means negate of 0 is 1. 0 negate of 1 is 1. Correct. But here when 1 comes, here you have, see, this is 1. But here you have value is 1. You're getting my words. On negating, you're getting, some mismatch. What you should get actually? 0000. Next is 1111. If any bit is altered, suppose instead of 0, if it is 1 means, this should be again 0. If data is, missed, your data packet may be within this packet, this data is altered or this data is missed, then I can easily make out something is problem with my PID. That means my packet number is somewhere missed, somewhere it is altered or it is incorrect. Okay, that is what finding the what we say error in the number, packet number. I'm going to use this 4 bits as negating the packet ID. That is what CRC means, finding the error with the data bit. Getting my words? I have two data. One is PID, one is data. Within this data, I have 1010 is my data, isn't it? 1010 is my data. CRC code means what I will do, I will add all the bits. So 1 plus 0, 0 plus 1, 1 plus 0. Again, what's the answer? 0 will get. This 0 I'll put it here in CRC code. When the receiver will receive, no, just to see, some receiver will receive. What data he will receive? He will receive 1010. Okay, then he will also add all the bits. What he will get? He will get 0. Okay, I'm getting 0 means CRC code is also 0. Okay, that means nobody has altered my data packet, or no data is missed from my packet. Hope you are clear. Okay, nothing has missed here. Nothing is altered here. Your data is correct. That is what correction, data correction, or error correction, or error detection. I can call it as error detection. That is better word. Error detection. To find the error with packet number by this PID negate, 4 bits negate. Now with the data, error detection is done by my CRC code. That's all. That's the main difference. Clear? Okay. Any other doubts? So please pose. Okay, I think you have understood, no? See, notes already provided, I think, module number 2. If not provided, we will send it. Don't worry. Notes 2 we will send, module number 2. Textbook is already available with you. I felt so. And PPT we will upload. Okay, to mail only, group mail only we will send it. Otherwise, even in Bygod also we'll upload. Anyway, okay, we'll upload both. I'll send by mail also and upload in Bygod also. Other than that, any other doubts? And this also recorded. So if you want, we'll provide the link also. I have recorded this particular topics actually. If you want, that link also will provide you. Okay. Any other doubts? So please put a questions here. You have any doubts, please pose here. By the time I will take attendance. Asta? Okay. Yusuf? Okay. Yusuf?
Present, ma'am. Present,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, Pa. Okay, fine. Abhijit? Okay, Abhijit. Abhishek? Abhishek, here's number 4. Here's number 5. Abhishek Mishra. Abhishek Mishra present? Okay. Adish present. Aditya Kumar? Aditya. Okay. Aditya Pratap. Okay. Aditya Raj. Aditya Raj present. Akanksha. Okay. Akili Chakravardhan. Akshat. Okay. Amog. Okay. Anaga. Okay. Anagashri. Okay. Ananya. Okay. Shivani. Okay. Ankit Kumar. Okay. Ankita Niranjan. Okay. Anusha. Anusha. Anusha, yes, number 20. I think absent. Okay. Apurva. Yes, number 21. Yes, number 21 present. Apurva GS. Yes or no? Is Apurva GS present? Apurva? Present. Apurva M? Aryan? Okay. Azim? Okay. Bhanupriya? Bhanupriya. Yes, number 25. Yes, number 20 now. Bhanupriya is absent. Bhargav Reddy. Microphone use ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ವಾ ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಎಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಏನ್ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಭಾನುಪ್ರಿಯ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಭಾರ್ಗವ್ ರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಶ್ರೀಹರ್ಷ್ lesson number 27 Rishita Rakshit Chandan Chandrakant Chetana Chirag Chirantan Chitra Sai Sankirtana Darshan Deepa Deepali Vasant Reddy Sai Vasant Reddy see next Thursday we have class now. By that time I'll prepare some MCQs. Okay now. So module 2 only module 2 MCQs I'll prepare. Okay. We'll take one small quiz on that day. Okay if it okay now. Yes or no? Just to just to see how much you have understood, which concept you have not yet understood, like that. Okay, just to analyze that, so nothing else. Okay, so we'll take one small MCQs, some 50 to 20 questions I'll put it, so that I'll provide you the enough time on Thursday. You prepare for module number 2. We'll go ahead with that. Okay, let us what we say, just see how much we have understood, where we have lagging and all. Okay, such kind of we want to I want acknowledgement, right? That's why where we have stopped. Okay, Shri Harshu absent. Fabian.
Ma'am, 41 present, ma'am.
41 present. Okay. 42 present. Okay. 43. Okay. 44.
44 present.
Okay. 45. Okay. 46. Ganesh. Okay. Gaurav. Oh, hey, one ನಿಮಿಷ ಗೌರವ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ Gaurav Mourya 47 present. No. Gaurav Mourya absent. So, oh, you're there. Sudhir Kumar. Sudhir. Okay. Pranati. Okay. Guru Darshan. Okay. Vishwajit. Okay. Harish Kumar. Harishwini.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, pa. Okay. Harshvi Chella. Okay. Harshit. Okay. Hemant Reddy. Yes. Ishan. Okay. Ishita. Okay. Manasa. Okay. Jayam. Okay. Jeevan Raju. Okay. Jannavi.
Present, ma'am.
Anish Shetty. Anish Shetty is there. Bhuvanesh. Okay. Kamal. Okay. Karthik. Karthik MR. Kavya. Okay. Kaza Mainuddin. Kushi. Pranav. Kritik. Lata Shekhar. Lavanya.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, Lavanya. Madhusudan. Okay. Mahesh. Mahesh. Mahesh Yadav. Okay. Maithili Joshi.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Mamisha. Okay. Manik. Okay. Manjesh. Sahil. Medini. Mohammed Saif. Mohammed Saif. Okay, Mohammed. Okay. Mohan. Mohan. Okay. Monish. Monish is not there. Mohammed Zidan. Okay. Muskan. Nagendra. Natwa Shruti. Okay. Naveen. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Any doubts? Any query regarding anything?